As we move on and progress in this seminar here today, I want to talk about how your ego is stunting the growth of your business. Yes, your pride, your self centeredness is stunting the growth of your business. It's keeping it like this when it should be going like this, the growth of your business. Because of the simple fact that you have an ego that is pretty much blocking your profits, that's stopping the growth of your business. Because if you think it's all about you, if you think you're here just to look good and to take from other people, it'll show up in the way you communicate your product and your service. You have to have enough humility mixed with self confidence in order to make that transaction, in order to gain a customer or a client that stays loyal and faithful to you and only you. So when you're in the boardroom, when you're in that sales meeting, when you are communicating to that potential buyer, they have to feel like you care about their needs and their wants. Not necessarily that you're trying to do something to them, but more so you're doing something for them based on the product or service that you are providing. I'm reminded of a story of a man who think he knew it all. He thought that the world just pretty much revolved around him. All because of the little success that he was having in his particular business field. He made several thousands of dollars and his business was on the up and up. And because of his business being on the up and up, he let his pride, he let his ego get in the way. And he started to focus more so on him rather than the people he was there to serve. And when that happened, he started to resist feedback from his secretaries, from his accountants, from his project managers, from everyone on his team. It came to a point that they could no longer tell him the truth of the matter. They couldn't tell him that customers were unsat and unhappy because things were taking longer than usual for their needs to be met. Now, when I was told this story, they never explained to me what business this man was in, but rather that this applies to all people who let their ego get in the way of the very thing that they are creating to create wealth. So this man in this business, he stopped learning. He thought it was all about him. And eventually, his employees left, his clients left, and it was just him. And now he's moping around trying to figure out what happened when all the fingers pointed back to him. The simple fact that his ego got in the way. He didn't see the marketplace taking a pivot because he was so focused on his previous successes that he was held prisoner to his past when he should have been thinking innovatively about the future. He had to stay in a position of readiness. So that way, when it was time to make a change or a turn or a pivot, he would be ready for it. But his ego told him that you're fine just where you're at. It's going to always be this easy to make a couple bucks off of these people. But it's not always like that. You have to have enough sense to know that business changes and the trajectory should change with the marketplace's needs. You got to see it before everybody else does. But if you don't, ask yourself, is my ego getting in the way? Do I think that I know it all? Am I know it all? Am I narcissistic? Am I hard to get along with? You just might be. It's not the neighbor across the street or little Johnny or whoever. It could be you. I'm not saying it is. It just could be. So lesson number one, understand it's not about you. It's about the customer and client that you serve. So you have to speak to provide, not to persuade. Everyone despises car salesmen, mainly because car salesmen come across as pushy, a little bit edgy. They make people feel anxious or pressured. because they don't know how to speak to provide, but they speak to persuade. They try to twist people's minds and get them to buy a car that they really don't need nor can they afford. So if you understand that you're there to provide something and you're an ethical person, you won't have to be concerned about how you speak because it'll show up automatically. You know that you are there to fulfill a need and a desire for these people. So you'll ask the questions, you'll pick their brain, you'll come with an attitude of understanding because they know and you know that this is business. They didn't come to you all willy-nilly. They needed something from you, and here you are to provide the solution. Here you are to fill the gap. But don't fumble because your ego got in the way. Spend that time learning how to communicate to people's needs. Spend that time learning how to make them feel a certain way. And when you can do that, the money will trickle in. People give money for a feeling. There's a reason why Amazon is dominating the logistics marketplace, or they're in TV as well, or movies. They give people a certain feeling, whether it's that feeling of convenience and easiness, same day shipping. What feeling do you give other people? Do people know that, oh man, this guy, this woman, they think it's all about them. They talk down to me. They pressure me to get in their book or to buying their course, rather than asking me how I feel about certain things and seeing where my product or service is able to fill that gap or fill that void. And if your ego is not in the way, you're able to celebrate your small wins because they propel you forward to big wins. Your ego will have you thinking that you have to have a super big month, $1,000 or $100,000 this month, when just this last month you just started the business and you want to make $1 million a minute. No, that's your ego talking to you. This is a process. This is a journey. And people know when you're restless. People know when you're desperate. People know, speaking 1,000 miles per minute, trying to make one sale. What sense does that make? You have to train yourself to celebrate the small wins because those compound into bigger wins. It's very simple. It's not so much about having the biggest success on the block or just killing the marketplace immediately. It's about you compounding and staying consistent with the things that work, dialing in on that system that you have created, and just running the numbers and staying consistent with that. Because when you can look back and understand that, yes, I did that right this week. Okay, the stats on that weren't that good. What can we tweak? Okay, we did well here. But you have to celebrate those small wins because those will help you. Those will give you that momentum to keep going forward. It will give you that opportunity to continue having a growth mindset and not be so fixated in having tunnel vision. And when you can celebrate those small wins and not downplay them, that's great. Because then you have that to lean on when times get tough, because it will get tough in business. Anyone who's been in business for a long time will tell you it's not always on the up and up. Sometimes you have down months, sometimes you have down years, but don't let that discourage you. You have to see yourself as liked, wanted, acceptable, able, capable. When you see yourself like that, other people will see yourself like that. And not only that, you will talk like you're liked. You will talk like you're able. You will talk like you're acceptable. You will talk like you are wanted. No one wants to be around someone who needs to feel validated from other people. No one likes a beggar. So why are you begging people to come alongside you in your business? You know that what you have to provide is great. And if they don't see the value in that, then so be it. What more else can you do? But you got to keep your head up. You got to keep that pedal to the metal and speak in such a way that it transforms people's lives for the better. You might have to spend time with those who are more articulate than you. You might have to write your notes down on a sheet of paper several times and repeat them over so that way it goes from here to here. You might have to go on YouTube University and study other great speakers so that way when you are up there in that sales meeting or pitching to those angel investors or talking to that potential client, a customer that comes to your desk, you have the confidence and the capability to provide a solution to their problem. That's all business pretty much is. People have problems, business owners and entrepreneurs provide solutions. Now, how do they do that? Marketing, ads, all that, but you have to get it in here. And they have to see it with their eyes. And they see that and they hear that when you speak. So practice. Spend time in the mirror like we said earlier. Grow and develop that instrument. Already see yourself as someone who was liked. Capable. If you started this business or you worked for this business or this company because you believed in it. You wanted to apply here. So don't hold your head down. Sit up straight. Stand up tall. And know that you are able. Celebrate those small wins. If you made your bed this morning, that's a win. If you brushed your teeth, that's a win. Would you believe that some business owners don't brush their teeth and then they go do, word of mouth, promoting their business or whatever, and their breath stink? Like it's stuff like that you got to take into mind. Simple stuff that you might overlook, that your ego has you not looking over or checking over about. Your body language speaks just as loud or even louder than your vocals. How you position yourself and how you carry yourself speaks volumes. So walk and talk like a person who's about their business, because I know you are. You wouldn't be listening to me if you weren't. They wouldn't have brought me here today to help inspire and motivate, but not only that, but to turn over more product, to provide more services, to bring in more customers. If they didn't believe that you could, you have to believe it. Let these words marinate. Understand that yes, money is a good thing. It's not evil. Money makes the world go round. So, it's not about you. Celebrate your small wins and see yourself as liked. And I guarantee you, your communication efforts, the things that you have accomplished will show up tremendously. And you'll get a return on your investment. More customers will come back. They'll stay loyal. And you will have this sense of confidence and accomplishment, all because of the simple fact that you spent time honing in your communication skills, finding your voice, understanding the ins and outs of your business, so that way you could communicate it to other people and already have rebuttals for their questionings, their doubts. Because I would hate for your ego to stunt the growth of your business. I would hate that your ego blocks other potential investors from coming alongside you because they sense that, oh man, this guy knows it all. I can see the way he's talking to me. Reflect on the previous conversations that you have. Do you come across as someone who might be selfish or self-centered? Understand that people know that. They can feel it. They know the vibe. And you wonder why they don't come back or why you have calls that go unanswered. So dial in. Believe in yourself because I know you can.